I think we're good. Welcome everybody back to our live collaborative playthrough of Fish by Magnetic Scrolls. This is episode or session 7. It will be episode 7 on the podcast. If you'd all just like to say hello and say and just give us your names.
Hello, I'm Swandis.
Hello, I'm Lee.
Hi, I'm Rosie.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And hi, I'm Woody.
Hi everyone. Lucas is not here, unfortunately. Lucas went to bed early because they were up all last night. They had a GCSE exam first thing this morning and came home and then took themselves off to bed at about 5 o'clock, unsurprisingly. So they'll have to catch up. Before we start the new session, we'll recap what we did last time. I might ask one of you just to give us a little recap, but I wanted to raise a few things that occurred to me. The first thing actually I want to show you is we don't see it because we it disappears off the screen very quickly at the beginning, and we usually start the live stream after the game is loaded. But the opening loading sequence, the boot sequence of this particular disc, I took a screenshot of it because it has a few things on it that I'd like to point out. So I think if I come over here, yeah. So this is what the boot sequence looks like, and it starts with this message: "Hello, pirate." So this is all message, text from the hacking group that cracked this game originally after it was released in 1988. It says, "Hello, pirate. If you think you like this program, please consider buying the original so that we can provide you with many more programs to look at!" Exclamation mark. "Always remember, a program that's worth using is a program worth buying!" Exclamation mark. And then P.S. Fish was cracked by Cortex, the only name in the business. Type Cortex as password. And then it says public annihilation successful. Public enemy begged us to stop and will pull out of the Amiga. Process terminated. There can be only one Cortex in big letters. So that's obviously the kind of the cracker message that they put on this particular disc. If anyone's familiar with kind of demo and cracker culture, this is a pretty standard message that a cracking group would put on a disc before it gets copied and distributed everywhere. Back in the 80s, there was always a big rush by crackers are a particular brand of hacker, I guess. You don't really call crackers anymore, but they're particularly focused on cracking copy protection. So they cracked this game and then, made copies and sent it out through the cracker network around Europe, basically, and the States. And so there was always a race when a new game came out to be the first to crack it properly, and then your messages were the ones to get propagated. And so this message has been passed down. It was obviously the most successful crack of this particular game back in the day, and that's why we're using it. So that's all fun and interesting, but the thing that I wanted to draw your attention to the most was the text underneath the cracker message, because it says, "Travel card which was supplied with the original. Hydropolis Underground Omnibus Company. One weekend travel card, not valid before 9 a.m. on Mondays to Fridays, except Dogger Bank holidays. Zones A Central, B Inner, C 123 Outer. Valid until Thursday," and then a number N56721. Now, I don't know this for sure, although it's obviously researchable, and I'll go and find out what the deal is before next week. But presumably this is the text of a travel card that came with the original game. So the original game would have been in a box with the discs and probably some instructions. Maybe even like a novel or a story, and presumably a travel card with this information on it. And so the crackers have added this text because likely you need this text to solve the game. That was an additional copy protection thing that games publishers used to do. They used to add They used to be called feelies because they were touchy-feely, you know, artifacts that came in the box that you could take out and feel. But presumably there's some information in this travel card that we need at some point in the game to solve a puzzle. So I thought I'd mention it now at the point where we're about to get on the underground, or the Hydropolis underground underground. So that's that. I've taken a screenshot so we can refer to it, but keep that in mind. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is, first of all, I went back into the game after we finished last time, and just to see whether or not the travel pass is really in the fish ton before it gets stolen from our apartment. And sure enough, it does. It is. If you as soon as you arrive in the apartment, if you search the fish ton, you find the travel card. So it was just down the side of the fish ton. Oh, I did also try another thing, actually. One of the things that I mentioned in the cracker message in the boot sequence is that it says type Cortex as password. I also tried that. So I restarted the game and got to the point where Playfair Panchax asks you for a password, asks you to look it up in the manual, and I typed Cortex in as the password, and it did nothing. I got no additional message. There was, I don't know if originally you were supposed to type Cortex to bypass the copy protection, but then they changed it so you could type anything you wanted. I suspect that might have happened, or there was a subsequent modification to the original crack. But typing Cortex in as the password doesn't make any difference. It doesn't give you any special message or anything.
That might also just be an ego boost.
Yes.
They might actually have done it from the beginning that you can type in anything, but rather than getting people to type in anything and having to convey that message, tell them to type in Cortex to reinforce your hacking brand.
Yeah. Yes, it could well be that. Yeah, they wanted people to keep typing Cortex to keep their name in front of people's minds. Anyway, that's those things. And then the other thing that occurred to me as I was editing the podcast was I suddenly realized that we inadvertently half solved a puzzle. In that what we thought was a mistake, i.e. getting robbed, I suspect is actually the solution to a puzzle, because there's lots of hints. When we go into the foyer, there's a big hint that there's no security in this building, and that any slippery eel could sneak in and steal our furniture. Ha ha. Although that wouldn't be a bad thing, because we could do with the insurance money. There's a whole set of kind of hints towards, if you get your fish ton stolen, you can claim it on the insurance and get some cash. So I think maybe that is actually, we're supposed to, we're not supposed to have just stumbled outside and left our door open and had it nicked in the first place. We were supposed to have been more security conscious. But actually that's half of solving the problem of getting cash in the game, because I guess at some point we can go and find an insurance company who can look us up on their system, and we can cash in our insurance policy for the stolen fish ton. Also, of course, that there was that bit where the police show up outside the building, and we almost lose the connection to the host parasite interface. I suspect that may have been the police investigating the break-in. I mean, I haven't quite worked out the timing or how exactly that happened, but that we leave the door open, there's a robbery, and our fish ton is stolen, and the police show up. We haven't reported anything. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what's happening around that, but something's happening around that. I suspect maybe if we started the game again and locked the door properly, we wouldn't have the police show up at the building, but I haven't tested that. And then I guess finally, I was going to suggest that we carry on from where we were rather than go back to a save game and start Hydropolis from the beginning. Because we don't even know where the where the meeting is supposed to be that we're supposed to get to before 10 o'clock anyway. So, but I don't. If would anyone like to recap or kind of fill in or add to any of the things that I've talked about already?
Well, I mean, you've pretty much said just about everything, haven't you? That we're in Hydropolis and that we're about to get on the underground. Yeah, and I couldn't remember anything. Actually, you did well to make some notes about that police thing in particular, because I also remembered that from the podcast and thought, oh yeah, I must remember to mention that, and obviously completely forgot. Obviously,
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago that I edited the podcast, so I'm quite impressed with myself for actually remembering those. I'm sure I've forgotten something as well, but
so we're supposed to be meeting the principal at 10, and it's 9 o'clock when we start.
yeah.
And in the game where we are now, we are already after 10,
Yeah,
and I
they're
think
very
there's
late.
a train every other turn in the underground. I can't remember. Yeah, we managed to.
We can't get into the train.
I know we can, yeah, because we've got the travel pass,
Oh,
so
yes,
we
we've
couldn't
got
get past the ticket guy, and then
Yeah.
Yes, that's all true. And the emulator has stopped accepting my text input suddenly. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to reload the game where we're in the underground, which is that one. There you go. So yeah, we're in Paddlington Underground Station. We just got asked for the password. I typed in Cortex, and nothing happened. Thank heavens for that, says Panchax. Pleased to see you've passed the test, dear boy. Carry on the good work. So, we are in Paddlington Underground Station. The station is busy. Commuters are flooding down the access funnel to the platform, almost overwhelming the guard checking their tickets. The ticket clerk sitting behind a counter looks quite scared by the mad rush too. You can get back to the street westward, but you'd be swimming against the tide of commuters. So I think the station platform is to the north.
let's go get on a train.
It's down, isn't it? Sorry, the platform is down. Platform, the tracks leading off into the dark tunnel lie beyond the northern edge of the platform. Trains arrive quite frequently, once every 3 minutes on average, a fact not unnoticed by the section of the Hydropolis Underground Omnibus Company responsible for advertising. You can go up to ground level via the access funnel to Paddlington. An underground train is here, but looks likely to leave at any moment. So should we go north and just get on it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
You squeeze your way, sardine-like, onto the train with the other commuters. Tube, always busy. The tube trains are packed solid with guppies. I presume when it says guppies, it's making a reference to yuppies, which obviously is an 80s thing that people might not realise nowadays. Rules have been passed strictly governing the number of fish allowed in each carriage, but these are often disregarded, especially by sardines and pilchards. The train is so crowded that the doors just miss your tail when they close. The train rumbles into the tunnel with its heavy, sweating load. Okay, let's examine the train. It's the same message. The train speeds through the tunnel, then clatters into Barbican. The doors slide open and the commuters swim in and out. I mean, should we get off at Barbican?
Let's go and explore, I guess.
Yeah.
Just went south. You try to push your way through the doors. You try to push your way through to the doors, but can't quite make it in time. All aboard, shouts the guard. Some dolphins rush in where angelfish fear to tread. The doors close and the train accelerates out of the station. I mean, they went to town on these puns. Okay, so we weren't able to get off at Barbican. I'm going to.
Where next?
I'm going to mark it on the map, though, nonetheless.
I mean, that might just be because we're not meant to get off at Barbican.
Yes, true. Actually, is anyone monitoring the chat? I haven't noticed anybody on or... Okay.
Nothing yet.
Okay, so yeah, I guess, one wait, that's the next stop, and it's off there to Barbican. So let's I'm just gonna change these just so the sequence is right. There we go. Okay, well, I guess I'll just wait again.
Is there an image?
I think the image is... It's still that one. It's just the one of all of the commuters and the guard. Wait. Time passes. The train speeds through the tunnel, then clatters into Pickerel. The doors slide open and the commuters swim in and out. I'm going to try it again. I mean, I might try exit tube this time. Or leave tube, actually. Okay, we're on a platform. The tracks leading off into the dark tunnel lie beyond the northern edge of the platform. Trains arrive quite frequently, etc. An underground train is here, but looks likely to leave at any moment. All aboard, shouts the guard. So it's the same message as before, but we are standing on the platform, and the image has changed, and it's the image of the tube train with the kind of fishy features at the front. I think that's the image that you get when you're on the platform. I'm not quite sure why we didn't get it when we got on at Paddlington.
Can we leave this station then?
Yeah, I would imagine we can go up. So let's try going up. You show your pass to the guard and go through. Pickerel Underground Station. The station is teeming with guppies nipping in and out of the access funnel which leads to the platform. All of the other messages are the same. The exit is southeast. And again, we're looking at the image of the guard and the commuters. So let me just update that. Oh. That's really annoying. Oh, this way. Okay.
Does anyone remember where we're trying to get to, where this principal person is, what they were the head of?
I think it's part of a university. There's it's called the project, right? The project to prevent the Finns evaporating all the water is called the project, but it's been sabotaged. Or we're not entirely sure who or what is evaporating the water, but the Finns have sabotaged the project, and I'm the academic in charge of the project. I think that's what's happening.
And we had a 10 o'clock meeting in our office, didn't we? But we don't know where that is.
This isn't the first time that I couldn't find my office.
Okay. I'm gonna have to kind of sort this map out a little after the stream, I think. There we go. Okay, so the exit is southeast. So let's try going. Southeast. Plaza. Noisy, dirty, fishy and grimy. Well, what do you expect a downtown Hydropolis shopping precinct to be like? You expected shops? Okay, I'll give you some shops. To the north is a clothing shop, to the south is a pub, and to the west is a cinema. Is that enough? No? Well, you'd have to go across the Dace Road to the southeast if you want some more, or northwest to Pickerel Underground Station if you want to go somewhere else. So the southeast is across Dace Road, so should we try doing that? I might just map these out. So clothes to the north, pub to the south, cinema to the west.
Is it too early to go to the pub?
Never too early, mate.
They've probably still got breakfast on.
We've got a watch on, don't we? Which is
We
how
do.
tell time.
It says it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Okay. Pub to the south. Oh, that's... Need to copy and paste, don't I? And was it southeast across the Dace Road, was it?
Do you think we need to go shopping?
Well, I think at some point we do. I mean, all of these things must be useful at some point, I guess.
We also need some money before we can go shopping.
Exactly.
Well, we do have a Visa card, don't
That's
we?
true as well.
But not a MasterCard.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. Can't do that. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yes, northwest.
Dace Road, yeah.
Oh dear, I've got this wrong, haven't I? Got this wrong. Never mind. Southeast is to Dace Road. So let's just go southeast.
So they're in a line, aren't they? So it's southeast to the plaza and southeast again to Dace Road.
Yes. Southeast. As you step on the road, the cars all accelerate towards you, their drivers leaning over the steering wheels with their fangs bared. You just avoid them by swimming as quick as you can to the safety of Dace Road. Dace Road. You're swimming along the south side of Dace Road. The police station is to the south. West across Place Street is a pub, and east lies Shark Street. Damn it. This is messing me around. Because I introduced that screenshot, my normal key combinations for switching between apps is now reversed. And it's really messing with my head, I'm afraid. Right. So this is wrong, in fact, isn't it? This should all be over here.
So was that Shark Street where all the drivers were baring their teeth?
It was the Dace Road.
Oh.
We're on the south side of
sound very safe.
Say that again, Woody.
I said Shark Street doesn't sound very safe,
No.
but there's only one way to find out.
Okay. I think it said west to the pub, didn't it? In which case this lines up, which is good. Always good. Yes, west across Place Street is a pub. We're swimming along the south side of Dace Road. The police station is south, and to the east lies Shark Street. That does sort of imply that the north side of Dace Road is to the north. Let's find out.
It's interesting that there's a police station there as well. Might come in handy.
We might have to go and report a crime.
Although we go a bit funny, don't we? If we see the police. That's
true. That's a very good point. Although that also might be a way of us ending the loop. I'm going to try going north just to get my bearings and see. Okay, you wait for a break in the traffic, but it's far too busy, so you give up. Dace Road. I'm going to go east to Shark Street then. Shark Street. This is the seedier part of town with shops to match, so watch who you're dealing with. South is a music shop, north is a second-hand shop, across the road to the east is the hardware shop, and southeast is the nearest underground station, Eelpout. Dace Road, a much safer place to be, is to the west. As you arrive, Ernest Chubb greets you cheerfully. Your colleague Ernest Chubb goes west. Okay.
He's your colleague, don't we then follow?
Oh yeah, he'll know where the office is.
Okay. I mean, I imagine if we keep searching for it, we'll find it eventually, but yeah. Although, of course, we don't know whether he's going home.
Do we know what time it is?
Oops.
Well, I guess it's about 10:15, isn't it?
10:24. Okay, let's get this mapped. So, music shop to the south, second hand to the north, hardware to the east.
While you map this out, Chris, it feels like this is leading us into, once we've got our objective, we're going to have to go back and shop for various things.
Yeah.
I mean, the music shop is also interesting, is it not? Given that the baddies are a band.
Mm.
And you know what they sell in hardware shops?
Four candles.
I don't think this is right, but and I can't remember what the key combination is to get back either. Oh. So north is second hand, south is music, north is second hand. Music, second hand. I'm not going in any of these yet, just because I don't want to have to deal with all the objects quite yet. I want to just understand the lay of the land.
It seems reasonable to try to go west and see if we can catch up with their Chubb.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Ernest Chubb goes west. Dace Road. As you arrive, Ernest Chubb greets you cheerfully. Shall I wait to see where he goes? Oh, I can talk to him, of course. Talk to Ernest. Ah. Okay, ask Ernest about the project.
Yeah, good idea.
Or meeting.
Ernest Chubb says, "You're the project leader, Roach. Tell me."
Ask him for an update on the project.
Yeah.
How would you like me to phrase that?
What do you think about the project?
I can only ask Ernest. It's
Ernest,
ask someone about something. So
ask Ernest about project update.
yeah, it doesn't understand update. I mean, I suspect if it doesn't understand about the project, then update is unlikely. But we could ask him about the meeting, maybe. No, it doesn't understand meeting.
Office.
Fish tons. Ernest Chubb says, "Your mind works in such an amazing way, sir. I really don't know how you think of such things." Okay, well, this tells us a little bit about their relationship, at least.
What about asking him where he's going?
I think the construct is ask person about something. So
About office or about destination?
Ernest Chubb says, "Oh, this is office. Ask Ernest about office." Ernest Chubb says, "Oh, come now, sir. You underestimate yourself. You gave the most inquiring lecture about that very subject last year." I think these are generic, random replies. Yeah, ask Ernest about destination. Doesn't understand destination.
Okay, so he doesn't seem to be going anywhere.
So, hang on a sec. This might be a bit meta, but that implies that office is a known word because it responded with one of its stock phrases rather than "I don't understand office."
Yeah.
We're just using office in the right context.
Yeah, it's almost like we can use Ernest as a kind of test to see which words the parser understands.
I imagine maybe we need to give him something at some point, or something, or interact with him at some point in the future, I guess.
Or we need to lock him up somewhere so that we can break into his apartment, or or I don't know, amputate his hand so he can use it in the. Yes, I don't know.
There is a hardware store just over there.
Pardon?
There is a hardware store just over there.
Yeah. It may be that he's not going anywhere because we keep engaging him in conversation. So I'm going to wait. Time passes. Time passes. "Oh well," says Ernest Chubb suddenly. "I've got to go now. Bye." Your colleague Ernest Chubb goes west. An old fish swims up to you and asks for the price of a snifter. 5 clams, you tell him. He thanks you and swims away.
Can you follow Ernest?
What? Just use the construct follow Ernest.
Yeah.
I think we tried this with Mickey and it doesn't, but we'll try it again. I don't understand follow.
Yeah.
If you go west. Oh. I think we might have discovered where Ernest Chubb was actually going. We've gone west from Dace Street. My Place Street is busy. In the end, you succeed in crossing. Pub. The hook, line, and sinker is a good old-fashioned boozer with a clean bar and filthy customers. One of them, a sorry drunk leaning unsteadily against the bar, seems familiar to your host. Steve, the cool catfish from the second-hand shop, is serving behind the bar. Or is it his twin brother? He sells masks filled with gas from behind the bar for the customers to sniff. Hence the masks are known to the locals as snifters, and the state of drunkenness as being sniffed to the gills, or completely finless. Exits lead north and east. An interesting looking cylinder is behind the bar. There's a stool here. As you arrive, Ernest Chubb greets you cheerfully.
Okay, I've just thought that the reason he was standing outside for so long was because we might not have followed him straight away. So because he left, so he's got because if he'd left straight away, we would have missed him. So I guess he was just hanging outside the pub waiting for us to catch up.
I'm not convinced he was waiting outside the pub. I think he was just on his way to the pub, and we were following him turn for turn. And then, when we were in the same location, we started speaking to him. And then, I suspect it's coded so that when you have a conversation, he'll stay around for a couple of moves, and then decide to carry on, just in case you check your inventory or look at something because you still want to have a conversation, you know. Otherwise, you're constantly chasing after people when you're trying to have conversations with them.
Can we buy him a drink?
A snifter?
Yeah, they don't drink to get drunk. They breathe.
Yes.
Sorry, I've just realised that. Yes. Can we buy him a snifter?
Let's get a sniff to the gills. Buy snifter? With what? That's a very good point. What's it called?
Your Visa card.
Please.
Oh. Buy snifter with Visa card. Oh, so it doesn't understand Visa card. Have
I think it's 2 words. Visa card.
Oh. So I've just done an inventory, and I'm carrying a Fisher fax and a travel pass, and I'm wearing a watch. But the Visa card is still in the Fisher fax. Yes, it contains a Visa card, 2 words, and a tatty card. So let's try buy snifter with Visa card. That will be 5 clams, sir. I'll charge it to your Visa account at once. Enjoy your sniff, says Steve as he hands you a mask. Examine mask. The snifter is a mask through which you sniff intoxicating gases with the purpose of getting finless. Hi, Maya.
I'm not sure we want to get finless, do we, at this point?
Should we give it to Ernest?
See if Ernest is more wanting to chat now.
Give mask to Ernest. You pass the snifter to Ernest Chubb, who takes a good snort and, smiling, hands it back to Steve. I mean, this seems like we could get Ernest finless.
I think we need to look at the interesting cylinder.
Yeah. Examine cylinder. You can't reach the cylinder from here. I mean, the implication is that the cylinder's full of gas.
Yeah.
And that the exits lead north and east, but those are 2 locations that we already know, right? They're back at, there's 2 exits to the street.
Do you want to examine the stall since it mentions
Oh yeah.
it?
I'm presuming it's a bar stool rather than any other kind of stool. The stool is the only stool at the bar available for your use. So that's inconclusive, I'd say.
Oh yeah, so you could actually sit on the
stool.
yeah,
Mhm.
might trigger something.
Sit on stool. You are now sitting on the stool. Let's just have a look at Ernest, actually. Examine Ernest. Ernest Chubb wants to be like you in every way. You are his hero, and this leads to plenty of grovelling on his part. He really needs to get a life, of his own preferably, especially since he rented the apartment next door to you. Okay, so he's a stalker.
Was his the rich apartment then?
Yeah.
It's the one with the gold
Yeah.
hand thing instead of our poor silver one.
Yeah, which is interesting, isn't it? Because it made us think that the Ernest Chubb must be higher status than us because he has a gold plate and we only have a silver plate. It's interesting how that works. But maybe
Maybe maybe the status is back to front there.
well, maybe Ernest just decided to buy himself a gold plate.
So as you say, the implication here is that we could keep buying him drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say
Getting him
drinks.
to talk.
Or,
Or-
well, either that or he feels woozy and goes back to the apartment and opens the door, and then
You
we
get
could go
into
in,
yeah.
to his apartment.
That's right. Yes. I imagine he might need help getting home, for instance. I mean, I'm not sure about asking or having a conversation because so far it seems that the hints about having conversations have been quite obvious. Like there's always, something that's hinted at in a description or in something to ask somebody about. And we don't have that with Chubb at all. I think
Yeah, not yet, at least.
no.
Yeah.
Get him aired and take him home.
So well, we could pursue this, or we could just explore.
Yeah, no,
You
let's
know,
go next door.
Like
Yeah.
at the moment, I think we're still just looking at a small bit of the overall of the whole city. So
You could head over to Eel, whatever it is,
yeah,
the other station,
Yeah.
and
get on
jump on.
the tube again and find
Yeah.
another district maybe. I'm just going to look at Steve actually while we're here.
It did reference Steve in the second-hand store, so is there a link there, and do we need to go to the second-hand store?
Well, it says it's Steve from the second-hand store is behind the bar, or it might be his twin brother or his twin. So I don't know, but I mean, there's no good hint that we need to go to the second-hand store, is it? Steve is a cool catfish, keen on selling anything to anyone at ridiculously high prices. Somehow this ploy usually works and has made a rich fish out of him. I mean, we could go into the second-hand store and see if the other Steve is there. I don't really know.
What are the odds we find the fish on there?
Well, let's have a look. Let's go east. Which direction was it in? It was north. East to Shark Street and then north to second-hand shop. North from Shark Street. You dart across Dace Road while nobody's looking. Second-hand shop. This shop is run by a cool catfish of many talents, most of them illegal, who goes by the name of Steve. Steve is a fish who could sell stripes to tiger sharks, but would rather sell them his grandmother if he hasn't already. The shop has a bad reputation. It normally sells fins what have fallen off the back of a submarine, if you get my drift. The exit from this den of low morals and high prices is to the south. Steve catches your eye and with a knowing wink suggests you might like to buy a somewhat fruity film that came in yesterday. You recognise the fish ton. There is a radio case here.
What's the image? It looks like that's changed.
Everyone was laughing on the Zoom call, and we didn't pick up any of the audio of it.
It's just hilarious. I'm impressed that Woody was astute enough to think that the fish ton would be in the second. I worship you, sir. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pat yourself on the back. Okay, let's look at the fish ton, shall we? Fish tons are really popular in Hydropolis at the moment. It's the same message that we got when we looked at it in our apartment, unsurprisingly. It says there's a radio case here.
Can we ask Steve about Fishton?
Yeah, of course. Well, maybe that's why, we got nowhere with that line of inquiry with Ernest, but it might give us a different response this time. Examine case. The radio case is the outer casing of an antique radio. There's a lot of space inside where the radio bits used to be. Okay, interesting. I wonder if this is related to the sabotage. Okay, ask Steve about fish ton. Steve says, "That's funny. I got one in first thing that you might be interested in."
So the thing about the radio case might be if we need to disguise something, if we need to get something into somewhere.
Mm.
Yeah, possibly. Or it's one of those kind of mechanics where we have to find all the pieces to something to put it all together, and the case is here. But then we've already done that in the focus wheel parts we had to find in the first part of the game, so maybe they won't repeat that mechanic. I'm not sure how to tell Steve that it's our fish ton.
You won't care.
No. I mean, unless we go and tell the police. Anyway.
Do we tell the police and get Steve arrested?
Should we try walking to the police station? I'm gonna mark these things up anyway.
And do we need to save the game at some point?
Yeah, good point. Let's
You
add some
walk into the
objects.
police station and say that the person that runs the dodgiest shop on the street is dodgy. The one who's selling lots of stolen stuff.
Yeah.
Sure, we could buy it back for an arm and a fin.
I'm finding it bizarre that Steve is in two locations at once.
It's almost like all fish look the same.
Yeah.
It's twin brother.
Mom couldn't tell them apart, so they gave them just the same name.
Ask Steve about pub. Steve says, "I own the place, so watch it."
They're like the Borg.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Steve Collective.
Okay, what do we think we should do? Should we go to the police station? Let's
I
try
think
that.
wandering around into the different locations seems like a good idea anyway, just kind of exploring.
Mm.
Do you think we should go into the other locations?
Yeah.
I think you have to hold down the press to talk for just a second or two before you start speaking for it to come through.
I was just thinking that it might be more. Obviously, we have no idea what we're doing, so we might as well go and explore and
Yeah.
get as much information as possible.
Okay. Do you want to explore by going into these locations that we've seen, or explore by going on the subway and going to a different district and seeing how many districts there are?
Yeah, but you might find another 15 locations.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, let's stay where we are for
All
now.
right. Let's explore this this little pool, this reef. Okay, let's go east then from Shark Street. The traffic on Shark Street is really busy, but eventually you notice a small gap and swim hastily across. Hardware shop. This hardware shop contains everything for the fish with DIY leanings. If your DIY is leaning, this is where you can get the tools to mend it. If you require anything, the assistant will be only too pleased to take your credit, and if not, your credit card. He may even give it back. You can leave the shop by swimming west. The assistant offers to sell you a black plastic bag. A hyperdriver and a screwdriver are for sale.
Yeah, I guess you need to examine all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes, if we find a spaceship, we know where the hyperdrive is.
I'll look at the bag first. The bag is for wrapping rubbish for disposal. Examine the screwdriver. The screwdriver works with any normal kind of screw. A universal screwdriver. Amazing. Hyperdrive. Hyperdriver. The hyperdriver is a variant on the standard screwdriver designed for removing lock screws. Lock spelled L-O-K. And look at the assistant. Oh, if I could spell it. The shop assistant is almost willing to serve. Okay. I think we know that those things are there. Let's go and look in another place. The exits I think were just west, right? Yep. Okay, south from Shark Street. Tuna Day's music shop. The music shop is cluttered with amateur musicians, most of whom are playing versions of the ancient heavy metal hit Smoke Underwater very badly on expensive instruments they have no intention of buying. An assistant is attempting to hide behind the counter. The hasty exit from this noisy place is north. The assistant is fondling some earplugs. I'm looking at the assistant again. And once again, I misspelt it. Oh. There we go. The shop assistant is almost willing to serve. X earplugs. The earplugs reduce all types of loud noise to a bearable level. You notice several students loitering with intent. One of them produces a guitar and starts singing, "Come on, feel my nose. The girls grab my clothes. Go why anymore?" Oh no, he started busking. Luckily, the other students attack and carry him off before you hear too much.
Hey.
What's the image? The image looks
Oh.
different.
The image has changed, you're right. Oh, it's from the pub. The image is from a pub, and it looks like it's a quite empty pub. Looks like a trad English boozer, which is exactly what the description said. There's a stool on the left-hand side. We can't see the bar at all. I think these images are definitely kind of ambience, you know. They're not, we can't get any clues from them. They're very generic. They're nice, you know, pixel art wise, but I think they're almost intentionally featureless, like not giving anything away. They don't want us to spend ages poring over the images, like trying to see meaning in things. They're very sparse. It's the text that's important.
So can we take the earplugs, or is that overreaching?
I think we need to buy them. Oh, let's ask assistant about earplugs. Lucky old you, says the assistant. I think we can help you there. An absolute bargain. Cheap at twice the price. Snap it up before someone else makes me an offer.
Everything's for sale, isn't it? There's a big credit card bill in my future.
Yes. Buy earplugs with Visa card. That'll be 5 clams exactly, sir. You type in your fish identity number to authorise the debit. The assistant waits for authorization, then returns your card together with the earplugs. All right, so we have some earplugs. I am going to save the game now.
I'm just wondering whether, because we've already found lots of other things to buy, haven't we? So I'm assuming there's a limit to the amount that we can buy, perhaps. Well,
yeah, I don't think we should just go around buying everything. earplugs seems like a really problem-solving-y thing.
I mean, yes, they do, and they're only the price of a pint.
Or is the pint only the price of some earplugs?
Well, we are also, like, you know, the leader of the major project that's going to secure the future of fish kind. So I think we've got a fairly high credit limit. I'm hoping.
What are the shops worth then?
Okay, back on Shark Street. West to Dace Road. South from Dace Road is the police station. The police station is fished day and night by a stalwart dogfish who is ready to solve the troutiest of crimes, especially the really simple ones where the villains just confess. You can escape without much danger or pursuit to the north. I'm going to examine the dogfish. The police officer is a dogfish with large whiskers and a semi-alert expression.
Ask him about the crime. Or theft.
Ask him about the fish ton. Ask officer about fish ton. Police officer says, I don't know anything about that. Ask officer about... Oops. Theft. Don't understand theft. Crime. Don't understand crime.
Donuts.
Donuts. Oh.
Can we report a crime?
Oh. Report crime to officer. Don't understand report. Tell officer about crime. Don't understand crime.
Yeah, we're expecting a bit too much of our poor parser here, I think.
Yeah. What can we ask? Let's ask the officer about Steve. Don't know anything about that.
Okay, let's keep going.
Doesn't understand robbery either. Okay.
It's not a very good policeman, is he?
No. Literally nothing about crime whatsoever of any type. Okay, we're back on Dace Road. Let's...
Chris?
Yeah.
Were Magnetic Scrolls British?
Yes.
I mean, it feels British. It's just...
Yeah, it feels very British, doesn't it?
Yeah, pubs and stuff. That might be the British way of spelling donuts.
Well, that's why I kind of chuckled. Like, what would it be? The British way of spelling donuts or the American way of spelling donuts? And so I chose the British way of spelling donuts.
Yep, I agree.
So there's an officer here. And there's a cinema and a clothes shop we haven't been to yet, so let's do that.
Just letting you know it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
At this rate, I'm going to volunteer to do the synopsis next week. Because it will consist of, we did nothing. we walked around the place and went to a pub.
We expect to remember every location and every item, Mike.
Sounds like a good day out in London.
This is, I mean, text adventure games are like this, aren't they? You spend the first half exploring and collecting all sorts of locations and people and clues and objects, and then you spend the second half trying to figure out what goes with what and how to progress.
It's probably a good job Lucas isn't here tonight, because they absolutely hate mooching around shops.
Yeah, they're not even good shops. Okay, well, we're in the cinema now.
It is slightly different in that usually you've at least been given a goal or something. We don't even know what we're meant to be doing.
No.
No.
We're a bit clueless.
No, but we know there's a meeting, and there cannot be an expectation that we would find our way to the meeting. I mean, unless the original game came with a map that showed us exactly how to get to the meeting within an hour. They must be.
Do you not think all this exploring though will teach us eventually where this meeting is, and then we can go back and be at it by 10 o'clock?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume at some point we'll find a way of breaking the host parasite interface. Although walking into the police station and talking to the dogfish in charge didn't like give us any hint of anything, did it?
My expectation is that eventually we'll find our office. We will then be reprimanded for missing the meeting, and that is what will reset the whole thing.
That would be smart. So what we should do then is we should explore everywhere apart from our office. Like if we have a hint that we're getting close to our office, we should go to, in the opposite direction if we can.
Yep.
Okay. So there's a cinema, and there was one other shop to the north, wasn't there? So let's just have a quick look at those descriptions and see what's there, and then we'll call it quits for this week. So I've just gone west from the plaza, and it says, it's a good job you have your Visa card with you. A happy ticket clerk sells you a cinema ticket, and you are shown to a seat. The film starts. It's a serious movie about fish growing up and going their own way. Ordinary guppies. It's not really your cup of tea, but it was remarkably well acted and deserved all its awards. You're almost driven to tears, but not being that kind of fish, you manage to hold them back. After about an hour, the film ends. The curtains close, and the lights come up. You rise from your seat and, carefully throwing your ticket into a bin, you return to the plaza.
Can you look at the watch now?
It's 12:15.
Did actually move us forward to that one.
So that's a good way of wasting an hour.
Yeah.
And, putting a bit of contemporary cinematic satire into the game. I presume it meant ordinary people. Let's go north. Clothing shop.
Potentially avoiding someone that's following us.
Oh, yeah.
That's a classic, isn't it?
Sneak into the cinema.
Yeah.
Clothing shop. Behind a counter stands an assistant ready to sell you anything in the shop. Many racks are filled with exciting jackets, a fashionable accessory in Hydropolis at the moment. You can leave the shop by going south. A trendy pair of sunglasses are on sale. A tie is for sale.
Maybe we need a tie for the meeting.
I think it's that formal.
Or sunglasses for a disguise.
Yeah. Examine jackets. The jackets are much too exciting for a staid university project leader like Dr. Roach. Examine tie. The tie is to be worn on special occasions. Births, deaths, marriages, visits to the disco, and so on. It's made from finest kipper. It's a kipper tie. Brilliant. Examine glasses. The dark glasses are incredibly cool and trendy, highly unsuitable for Dr. Roach. Okay.
So the picture of the fish on the box, the one that's behind you on your screen, is of the fish wearing the glasses.
Oh, what, in the apartment?
No, the box
Oh.
art of the game.
Yes, I see what you mean. Oh, you're right. It is. Maybe those are the glasses. Let me just move out of the way. There
Has
we
it
go.
got the tie on? Can't see because of your chair.
I don't think so. Let me just move out of the way. No. No tie. Tie's a red herring.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Okay. I even turned the microphone on for that chortle.
Okay. All right, folks. Let's call it, shall we? We did a bit of exploring. We found some stuff out. We might have an idea of something to do with Ernest Chubb, but I think next time we get straight back on the subway and go to the next district.
Yeah,
Cool.
we did not score any points.
That's a first. It's the first time we've not scored any points at all. It'll all come together, don't worry. All right, everybody.
All right, see you next week.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next week.
Hey guys.